Hey folks, welcome to my Tarkov video. I've seen a little bit of a gap in some of the videos here. There's nothing really out there for a guide for guns with level 1 traders, especially this late in the wipe. I figure it's something handy. It's a little bit different right after a wipe, but right now there's actually some pretty good opportunities as a new player to get a pretty good gun for not very much price. I'm going to start off with the cheapest ones, I think, and work my way up to a couple more expensive ones. I'll build the first couple right away. And show you how I do it, and then just show you the end product of a couple others with some of the parts they have, and throw some costs in there too. So let's get right at it. Hope you enjoy. The cheapest gun that's out there right now, in my opinion, to build, and obviously it matters on how much of these parts you get, is the AK-74 just by itself, the AK-74N. So here's our AK-74N, standard grip, pretty cheap. It's $1,000 for that upgraded grip, but I don't see anything in here. Maybe that one. Yep, that one's got the upgraded polymer grip, so let's see if we can get it. Saves us one step. Okay, so here's our AK-74M. It's even got a good a nice mag with it. So the first thing you want to get for these is this AK polymer grip, and it goes on any of them. You can buy them from Proper at level 1, and what it does is it has a handrail on the bottom and one on the side. This allows you to put a grip and a laser on them right away. Now the other thing you can do with these is you can go right for optics and buy, which I don't like these, but if you're on a budget, this is about the cheapest way to get them. So you got scopes in here for about 13,000. This really shitty night scope kind of works. It's not very good. And then you got these collimators. My bad. This one's obviously better than the other one, a little bit clearer. But if you're hurting, this one will work for 9,500. That gets you a sight and a mount and everything. Your other option is to come into receivers and slides and get yourself a Zenit B33 dust cover. Or the Academia is the cheapest one, 9,000, and it gives you a rail that sits on top of the gun. The problem is this one has a 2% lost accuracy, so you have to go with the expensive one to get a no loss in accuracy, compared to, and plus 7 ergonomics compared to the one that's on there that adds 5. So you get a little bit better ergonomics, but then once you put that dust cover on here instead of this one, you can actually mount a sight back here. But that's why I'll buy one of those other sights, or find one. Like here's one right here I've got, and it goes right on there. And there you go, 9,000. You have a sight and everything you need for the gun. They're not as great, but if you're talking budget, it works. So the other upgrade you can get, obviously, is the buttstock. Again, you buy one of those, throw it on there. The other one you can do is this RP1 charging handle for AKs, and it goes on tons. It's the same one. It goes on tons of guns. Adds 1 ergonomics. It's relatively cheap. Put it on. You don't have to. If you've got one, great. I always throw one on because it's just a nice thing to do. But it'll save you a couple thousand on your build. And then again, I buy the Zenit for about 7,000 and slap that guy on there. Now we'll go find. See if I got any grips in my inventory. Yeah, a couple here. So we'll just pull one off of this guy. So grips, just look through the one you want and afford. You know, there's lots of cheap ones in there, and there's not a huge difference between them. This one here, this RK0, is nice. You can get it for about 10,000, but the big deal is it's got a pretty good effect on the recoil compared to some other grips. And then same deal, laser. There's lots of laser choices. Like there's this one that I got off of a, got this one off of a raid. It's more of a high dollar laser, but and I've got 2 on this gun because I was storing them. So this TBL is one you can buy pretty cheap, and it's just a laser, no flashlight. Buy him off a skier for 5,300 if he doesn't sell out, and it goes right onto the side there, and you can't see it, but it can only lock onto that side. And from there, you're pretty much ready to go. We will bring these 2 mags along. We'll take that one out. I'll go try it out in the hideout. Run over here real quick. Drag shooting range, little blue laser. Single fire, right where the laser is. Nice and tight. I like this gun a lot. It's cheap. My aim's not as good, but mid-range. Good, cheap gun. Ammo is pretty easy to get a hold of, too. All right, so first thing, I'm just going to show you guys. Have level 1 traders all the way around. So no access to level 2 traders yet, which is huge. I'll do another video with that, but right now we've just got level 1. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go in here and we're going to find ourselves a AK-74 to purchase. Hopefully you can find one of these with your raids. It'll make things a lot easier. AK-74. So as you can see, you can get into them here for pretty cheap for an original buy. You know, this thing's good. We're going to look in here real quick to see if we see any with a couple attachments that help out, like this right here. Look at that. That's a steal. 14,005. And we're already on our way to a well-assembled AK. So I'm going to show you a couple of parts that are huge to this. So for one, we got this really good mag. And these are all parts that you'd have to buy if we had to get it plain. But just looking on the Flea Market, we were able to get one pretty cheap. So this is pretty much standard AK-74U without the grip. So the first thing you want to go find is one of these B11 grips. And they're not too hard to find. Filter by item. You know, you can find them for anywhere from 7 to 10,000. See, when you get leveled up with skier, you can buy it for 5,600. So this gets even better. So we put that on. The next thing is a laser light. So these are combos. Usually I just pick these up off of guys on raids. Now, one thing to remember is what side you put this on. So if it's on this side, and I'll show you, I'll leave it on here so I can show you in the range. It kind of blocks your vision a little bit. But if you put it right here, it's out of your vision. Same effect, same thing, but less line of sight. Next thing we can do are these butt pads. These things are super cheap and easy to get a hold of. Again, you can get it once you get leveled up. You can buy them from Proper, but they're not too bad. This is kind of expensive right now, but you'll see them anywhere from 4 to 8,000 depending on time of day and how many are out there. But it's worth it. You know, 5% recoil and + 1 ergonomics is big, and it saves you from having to upgrade buy an expensive stock. This B18 mount is another really important thing to find. You can usually find them pretty cheap. 3,500 all over in here. Sometimes you can get lucky and pick them up on skier, or I'm sorry, fence. So what that does is that goes onto this sight piece right here. You see that goes onto that mount, and it mounts right there on the gun and allows you to put a lot of different kinds of sights on there. So you can put a sight. So you're actually going to have. Now, one thing we are going to do with this that we don't have is we're going to go buy ourselves a comp, which the compensator, which because I like how much of a effect they have. So right click on the AK-74, link search, and we're going to go for the one that's my preferred on the muzzle device. So flash hiders and brakes, and it's going to be, no, by shape, I don't quite remember it by. Yep, the Zenit. So the Zenit. So anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000, you'll get it. Again, once you level up, you can buy it straight from skier. And the reason I like this one is the 7% recoil. It's got a lot of recoil reduction to it. Now, obviously you can't run this if you run a suppressor, but that's no big deal. So we're going to put this one on here. Don't know if I have any AK mags. Oh, yep, there's some. So I'll bring a couple of these in just to show you. Show you guys. All right. So if you look, you can see the flashlight's on this side of the gun, and it blocks a little bit of your vision. It's not a lot, but enough to be kind of annoying in my opinion. So if you come in here and you switch this to the other side, puts it on that side now. And some other guns, it's more of an effect than this one. Now it's on the other side. Now you got your flashlight. Now, flashlight is not what we want. We want the laser. So, standard binds is Control T. Cycles through your options. See, flashlight, laser, flashlight, flashlight and laser, and then it turns on and off with T. So, fully auto. You want to run with a laser that does this on and off does affect your accuracy with hip fire and aimed fire. So, and that's your modified AK right there. Handy enough, we can come right back in. That isn't your cheapest gun you can build, but that's one of the AK-74s, and you do need it for a quest eventually. Okay, some other options out there for you guys, if you so desire, is 8Rs. So there's a way you can really gear up 8Rs if you want. Now, they're still semi-automatic, unless you make a couple other modifications. But this is pretty expensive. You know, your PMAG, to get 60 rounds, you're talking 40,000, though you can run with these cheapies. That works as well. But all of the pieces you have to buy to make this thing work make this thing very, very expensive. And this is your standard brown 8R. You know, if you go look at them in the... it's one of these guys modified. Basically, you take the stock off in the front, and you end up with enough parts, you end up with something like this. So you have to buy all of these parts down here. So you have to buy all of these parts down here to get what you need. So your 15,000 for the gas block, your another 12 to 14,000 for your forward grip, or your handguard for a grip. You can run anywhere from 3 to 8,000. Stocks are all over the place as well, depending on what you go with. This one's one of the cheaper ones at 5,000. Compensator, there's another 6,000. Throw the mag in and you got yourself an 8R. Not worth it in my opinion, early game, because the ammo's expensive and that gun's expensive, but some people want to rock that, and I totally understand. Some other options you can roll with is the MP5s that you trade with Peacekeeper for your 6 knives, or 8 knives. And then you can put a couple pieces on this that you can go crazy and spend 50,000-60,000 and upgrade this thing all the way, or you can run with it like this. There's a couple of pieces to get some sights on here, and run with that. But again, 9mm ammo is real expensive, so it's not ideal. Okay, so there's a couple of guns for you guys. The AK-74M, the cheapest one that you can put together and build, and then the AK-74U, which you can get pretty cheap too if you can find one with the parts like we did. It's a good thing about getting to level 5. All right, guys, well, there's 2 guns for you. A lot of times I run with the AK-74U, simply AKS-74U, simply because I pick a lot of them up in raid. And it can be pretty cheap to get them into a decent gun. They're not great much farther than medium range, but they still work good, and they use the same ammo as the AK-74M. This is your cheapest gun to go to. You can build these for anywhere from, depending on the parts you find and have in your inventory and what you keep, anywhere from 15,000-20,000 rubles up to about a full build of about 50,000. You can put one of these together and have a really good effective gun. Now you want to run with better ammo, the BT, the BS, the BPs, but this gun will hang with most of the other guns in the game. It's good fire rate, good range, and it's pretty effective once you put some mods on it. Now you can get a little bit cheaper. You cannot put everything on here, but that's up to you. I didn't talk about suppressors much, but if you find those, they're very effective, especially if you play by yourself. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any comments, you want me to do any other kind of gun builds, if you want me to go slower or more detailed in something, let me know. I'll be happy to do that. I'm here to kind of help new players, newer players to the game. I haven't been in the game for a long time myself, but this is one of the things that took me a while to pick up and get through. Comment below, subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate you guys' time. Keep surviving Tarkov.